welcome to my first flashlight review. Now if you've watched the channel with any regularity, you probably notice I never do flashlights. Well, I was watching a few other channels and I came across this one, and they had these flashlights that were really bright, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, man. I could use a new weapon light. And so I went ahead and picked one up. The cool thing with this is it's only a $20 flashlight. Now if you're into flashlights like a lot of people here are, the prices on flashlights can run incredibly high. This is the ThorFire C8s, and it puts out 900 lumens. This is my 4.7's Quark Turbo, and I think it puts out 250. I can't quite remember the amount of lumens that it puts out. The problem I have with this is that the tube itself is, I believe, 0.9 inches, whereas most weapon mounts are 1 inch. And if I remember correctly, I contacted 4.7s years ago and said, hey man, why don't y'all make tubes in a 1 inch? And they said, well, our flashlights are not rated for firearms. And I guess I take that to mean that it's not going to stand up to the recoil of the gun. So, and I've been running it on this 4.7's on my rifle forever, for years. I mean, you can see the damage it's been put through. But I have yet to fail. But in order for me to fit this on here, I have to wrap some tape around it to make it bigger in order to fit into the to the mount. So let's take this off so we can get the rifle out of here. This is my short barrel rifle with the binary trigger system in it. I don't know if you've seen that before. To be honest, I'll throw some footage in of that in here. I'm not too impressed with it. I tried fitting it myself, had some issues, sent it off to Franklin Armory to have them install it themselves, and it still doesn't quite work that great. I'm probably going to sell that. Anyways, the flashlight itself, it's kind of big. It's fairly big, at least the head's really big. It's got the skull cruncher thing on the front, so where you can smash somebody in the face or something and mark their forehead. It did not say if it was waterproof or not. All my flashlights, for the most part, I don't go scuba diving with them. I get special lights for that, but they will get wet. Rain, mud, whatever. My stuff's going to get wet, and so far they all seem to do okay. I think as long as they have an O-ring and a tail cap that's decently sealed, as long as you're not submersing it, it should do just fine. It does run on the rechargeable batteries. Let me read what that is. That's a 18650 battery. I don't mess with the rechargeable ones. It's more convenient just to throw them away and put some others in there. So I'm using the CR123s. It runs on those. I'm not quite sure. The instruction manual doesn't say if it gives you brighter output if you use the rechargeable ones, but for most flashlights I believe it does. The tail cap is recessed in the back right here, so you don't accidentally press it. You got to get your thumb lined up with it. For a weapon light, I think I'd rather not have that, so I want to be able to touch it when I want to touch it and not have to find it. It does have a lanyard loop spot right here. The head has got some heat sink looking stuff right here in the front, and then it does unscrew on the front too, I believe, because it was coming loose on the rifle. So the reason it's mounted on my rifle was I thought, well shoot, if 4.7 says that their stuff's not rated for firearms, I wonder if this thing is. For 20 bucks, it should be. Probably not, right? So anyways, I slapped it on the foregrip of that. I ran a couple of magazines through it. I would have run more, but it was over 100 degrees when I was filming this, so everything was getting hot. And I took the reason the flashlight's mounted in such a goofy manner in this video is because I took the suppressor off because it didn't want to smoke and burn that sucker up either because it was so hot. So I mounted the flashlight on the top rail looking back. But it stayed on, it worked the entire time. A lot of these inexpensive flashlights, if you will, the problem I have with them is they have so many different modes and you have to scroll through them in order to get them to turn off. So it's really irritating when you're camping or outside doing anything, you turn your flashlight on and then you want to turn it off and you have to go boom, 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 boom through the tail cap in order to get strobe and light and, you know, the high lows and all that stuff to get it off, and it's very annoying. I just want to turn it on, turn it off. That's what I like about the 4.7s. You can program it to 2 different modes. I got Moonlight and Super Bright. and you just select between the modes, you just turn the head and you're good to go. This thing here, not quite as simple. It's got 4 modes: high, medium, low, and Moonlight, and then strobe, so I guess that's 5. And the way you do that is you just press the tail cap, so there's high, and you just barely press it about halfway and it'll go to the next mode. There's Moonlight. I think that, whoops, off. There's medium. Well, I'm scrolling, you don't want to click it. You got to press it halfway. That's the only irritation, I guess, but I'm clicking halfway. And then eventually it should, whatever mode you leave it on, when you turn it off and wait 2 seconds, it'll return to that mode. Now, if you want to do the strobe, which I find completely annoying, is you just double tap it without clicking it. And there it is. So double tap it again. Come on. Oh, just single tap is go through. I thought it was double tap. So if I want to use it on Moonlight, and Moonlight's really good for when you're in hotels and you need to get up in the middle of the night and find something, just leave it on the Moonlight, turn it off, wait 2 seconds, and there it is again. But for the money, this is a very nice flashlight, super bright, 900 lumens is what the thing says, but you know, to me, it's bright. Let me just say that. I'm not going to go out and take it outside and show the throw and all that stuff, because I've watched a few other videos on flashlights and you really can't tell the difference of how it throws, the intensity of the beam and everything. This is going to be for weapon lights for me, for hunting at night. And if you don't hunt or you don't shoot at night, let's rephrase that, and you're planning to do it, there's a lot of considerations when it comes to flashlights. The smoke, for example, if you have a super bright floodlight that just is blinding everybody and there's no wind and you're shooting and you got some smoky ammo or no wind anyway, you're going to get tons of smoke. It obstructs the view of what you're shooting.
Are you ready? Stand by.
So for me, this is strictly going to be a weapon light. When I shoot at night, I want as much light on the subject as I can. Unfortunately, you know, when you're using a super bright light like this and it's mounted to your weapon, if there's no wind, the smoke fills the air and it's difficult to see the targets, it's difficult to see what you're shooting at. If you're moving, it's a little bit easier because you're moving away from the smoke, so to speak, as long as the wind is not blowing towards in your direction. But if you've never shot at night, it's a whole different world. Give it a try sometime if you get the opportunity. Like I said, this one's going to be strictly for hunting. I've shot a few night matches before, and more light is always better in my opinion. Well, there it is, the ThorFire. I'll put links to where you can get this for 20 bucks. It's not bad at all. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video.